All right, no worries then.
I appreciate it. So, first question is, what is your background in Muay Thai? Like, where was your first introduction to Muay Thai?
All right, so my name is David Huey. I'm the owner of Muay Thai America Gym. We had the gym here for almost 9 years now. My first introduction to Muay Thai is very, very strange. So I'm almost 59 right now. I'm 58 years old. And back in the day, in the 70s, everybody was practicing Kung Fu. And so we were practicing Chinese boxing a lot. And what happened was, there was a promoter that brought Thai fighters to match up against a bunch of Kung Fu fighters. This is back in 1973, I believe, towards the end of 1973. And they fought, and the Thai boxers knocked out all the Kung Fu fighters out in the first round, okay? So then they wanted a rematch. All the Chinese fighters wanted a rematch, and they said, well, we couldn't fight because we were fighting with gloves on. So the Thai fighters said, okay, we'll let you guys fight, all right? And you don't have to wear gloves, you know? The results happened again. Same thing, all the fighters were knocked out in the first round. And I think one fighter lasted to the second round. And so all the Thai boxers beat the Chinese fighters, okay? So that spurred a big movement in, at the time I was up in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it was a sense of nationality. I'm ethnically Chinese. And so your art, who's supposed to be the grandfather of all martial arts, just got beaten, you know? And twice, you know? And second time without any gloves. So the people up in the San Francisco area started assembling a team, a Chinese boxing team that can compete with the Thai boxers. But the thing is that we didn't know anything about Thai boxing. So we had to go search anybody that was out there in the Bay Area that was Thai. So fortunately I had a friend in school, and his name was Jerese, and his father was a new Thai boxing, you know? And that was my first introduction to Thai boxing, was to learn Thai boxing in order to beat Thai boxing using Chinese boxing, you know? But then when you start learning it, you start learning that really it's how tough the conditioning was, and the endurance that you needed, and just the toughness and the mental fortitude. So back in the day, everybody was training. Maybe we hit bags and we hit the air and practice, you know, forms and stuff like that, and we practiced, you know, some sparring. But it was never as tough as the way the Thai boxers trained. So when we started training Thai boxing, it was a whole different game. Now we're like kicking each other, and it didn't matter if you were blocking the kick. If the kick hit your forearm and you're blocking it, your forearm is just getting beaten the crap out of because somebody's bare shin is digging into your arm. You know, so the whole evolution of fighting started changing then, not only for the Thai boxers, but for the Chinese boxers. They all had to change the game, change the strategy, change the whole fight technique. So my introduction to Muay Thai was to learn the art, to beat the art. But then subsequently you learn you're just gonna have to adapt your art to more like Thai boxing if you want that toughness, you know. And it's the same story, I think, with a lot of fighters. They go and they want to learn, they have a particular art, whether it's professional karate or professional kickboxing, and they start fighting against Thai boxers, and all of a sudden they're just getting hit with techniques that they're not used to. Now they have to start changing their art and adapting it, and actually using some of the Thai boxing techniques, and maybe actually evolving to becoming a Thai boxer.
That's awesome. So there was a huge impact on LA, and then that's how you got introduced to it. Do you have a competitive background?
I do. So when I was in the Chinese team, we fought against, our fights were against kickboxers and Thai boxers, and that was the whole thing. It was, is the fight against them. But my actual main fighting art is Sanda and Sanshao, okay? Which is kind of like kickboxing and Thai boxing, except they use throws. And you can use pure judo throws too. So you can punch, kick, we didn't elbow at the time, but you could throw somebody down. And so And it's not like Muay Thai leverage throw. You can just use your hip, you can sweep, you can grapevine, you can do all these different throws. At the time, the sport was so new that they didn't really have a unified way of scoring, except the throw scored very high. So let's say you and I are fighting, okay, and we're kicking each other, we're punching each other, and then I get a throw on you, and I throw you, but I'm still standing up. That throw scores very, very high. If I throw you and I stumble a little bit, that throw scores a little bit lower. If I throw you and I fall down on the ground with you, that throw scores very, very low. So in that type of competition, I've had 10 fights, that I've had because of the throws. I've had 4 draws, because of that, And so I had 1 loss, And ultimately, my last competition was on a charity fundraiser in New York against a Thai boxer, and we fought on a stage, and we fought and didn't have a ring. We fought actually on the stage in some theater, and the same thing when I fought him. He's throwing kicks, he's kicking my arm and really beating the crap out of my arm. Even if I'm blocking it, I'm parrying kicks, whatever, in my forearms is getting beaten. And so if it wasn't for the fact that I was in a mat, I could step out of bounds and kind of cheat and save myself from the brutality, And if it wasn't for that, I mean, I would not have, I don't think I would have survived that fight.
Wow.
If I was in a ring, I would definitely had no place to go. So I kind of knew how to work the open mat, and then come back in to save myself for that. But then then it really hit me. I just really said, this is the art I should be practicing. So.
Okay. And then what about so then the gym has been around for 9 years, and then what about your significant fighters? I know if you could talk about them. You have Victor, and then could you give me a little bit of background about Victor and his journey?
Sure. So Muay Thai American Gym's been here for almost 9 years now. One of the things that we wanted to do on opening his gym was to promote Muay Thai, and so that's why we keep our rates very, very low. We're the only gym that's sponsored by the Royal Thai Consulate of Los Angeles to teach Muay Thai at our local colleges. We've been teaching Muay Thai at LACC, West LA College, LA Mission College. We taught at all those. And our program's been going on, I think, for almost 5 years now. The Thai Council has bought all the equipment, the Thai pads and everything. They've done great things for the sport. When you rolled into the class the first time, it was like $40. It was 10 weeks. You also got a free pair of Thai shorts, and you got a free pair of boxing gloves.
Wow.
It was like such a great thing. Wow. And their goal was to make Muay Thai as common as Taekwondo. They said Taekwondo is a household name. Why isn't Muay Thai a household name? That was their mission, and we were a part of that mission, which is still going on right now. And so the other part of our gym is one to establish a good fight team. We really think to promote the sport, you do have to be out there, and you have to have fighters. Currently we currently have 7 active professional fighters out of this gym, and one of our fighters is Victor Saravia. Victor started at our gym. He started as an amateur. He did a few smokers, and we start working his way up. The thing about him, he's always willing to learn. He's always trying to escalate, and that's what we like to focus on. So not only we need to improve everybody's strength and conditioning, but we have to grow their fight IQ. When we talk about fight IQ, sometimes we show technique to people, all right, or our fighters, whatever it is. That may not be their technique. It may not work best for them, but they're aware of the mechanics of that technique. And when you're aware of the mechanics, you know how to defend against it. So when you have that in your library, you may not use it, but you know how to work against it and defend yourself against it. And Victor's one of those fighters who's always trying to evolve and always trying to make himself smarter each time, or trying new things every time. But when it comes to fight camp, we want to be able to focus on what he does well, and we don't try too many new things. It's only when we're not in fight camp, He had a great amateur career, and then we did an exhibition fight in Fresno, and Malapet, who's actually one of my trainers also, saw him at one of his events, and he pushed him to become a professional, and he at the time called up Christine at Line Fight, said, hey, I have a guy here that's he's not with my gym, but but he's really, really, a good fighter, and he can become pro. In his first fight, he was fought against Anthony Castrejón, who's really, really up there in the game, and he's subsequently just finished him, and in his first fight. Then later he's offered a contract for Lion Fight, and during that course we were also went to London and fought. Victor fought, and although he knocked down his opponent, I think it's in the second or third round, he got cut, and they stopped the fight on a cut. But other talent scouts saw him out there and said, "Hey, we want you to fight in K1. Are you willing to do it?" We took a risk. We fought the world champion out there. That fight didn't go our way. It was a great fight. And subsequently, after that fight, it's had over 5.5 million replays on YouTube. So 5.5 million people watched the fight afterwards. It also earned him the K1 Fight of the Year against Takeru. And so he got an award for that being the best fight of that year. And it was a great fight. And subsequently we come back again, several times. I think we've been to Japan 4 times already, and they love him out there. His humbleness and his technique and his willing forwardness to fight. They just love him out there. His speed and his combination. So, it's been a great thing.
That's awesome. So do you personally remember the famous fight against Rick Rufus and Kiat Sangre? And if you do, where were you? What was your reaction?
Well, my reaction was probably the same as everyone else. The thing is that when you train a particular art, whether you're fighting professional karate and then involving the full contact karate, or you're fighting Chinese boxing, wherever it is, obviously you want your national sport to win, your sport to win. But you can't deny the technique of Muay Thai, the power of it. Back in the day, back in the 70s or even the 80s, when there was a fight, we didn't have really like the commission as strict as it is now. I don't even remember. There was a commission way back when. But a lot of times you would have rules negotiated right before the fight. You contract you to fight this person, you contract to fight this other person. And then right before the fight, you're gonna talk and you're gonna say, "Okay, well, no elbows. This is Muay Thai. No, I'm doing modified kickboxing. It works against me. Okay, no low kicks. What do you mean no low kicks, huh? Why is there no low kicks? Back in the day, when they were professional full contact, right? There used to be a minimum kick number. You have to kick like
8 kicks.
Yeah, or something like 5, 7, or 8 kicks, or whatever it is. And if you didn't, you were penalized for it. Yeah. And the logic was, if you're not kicking, you're saving energy, and you have an advantage.
Yeah.
But again, it just shows the infancy and nobody was aware of the sport and its potential back then. So when everybody witnessed that fight, everybody always thought, low kick, it's easy to kick low, And as a spectator, it looks easy. But until you're on the receiving end of a low kick, and that kick hits your thigh, and that shin bone digs against your own shin bone, your muscles start splitting, and when you walk, you feel it tensing up, and it's throbbing, and to the point you can't take any weight on it anymore, you start to waken up and say, okay, this is something to be reckoned with. You're going to really have to learn to do it, or defend against it, or you'll be part of art. Otherwise, you're limiting the stand-up fighting, per se, So, definitely was an eye awakener. And I think for everyone else, everyone started evolving, changing the fight styles, using Muay Thai. And now we see it kind of evolving even more as I travel the world and I see different fights when I go to Holland and see the way the Dutch fighters fight. Still very, very great fighters in the way they used to set up their combinations before they kick or things like that. Or you go to Tokyo and see their fighters and you see the accuracy of them, Maybe it's from the years of just focusing on breaking boards or whatever it is, but their accuracy is extremely, extremely good, And even the Chinese fighters right now that are fighting, either on Kunlun fights or Wuling Feng or all this stuff, it's really, really rising. And in China itself, you can see fights on national TV. The fighters are really, really going up. And in my opinion, they're not as good as the Thai fighters yet, but they're getting there. They're holding their own. They're being very, very competitive. And so we see an evolution of fight styles using all weapons, all ranges, you know, but we see the differences of all these different styles: Chinese style, Thai style, Dutch style, Japanese style, and all these different types of styles of fighting. Still very effective, but they all evolved because they gave in and said, yes, these are the techniques that we have to use. This is the form of fighting that we need to do.
Very interesting, very interesting. And then now in a more like immediate perspective, like in the community, how has Muay Thai impacted communities and people around you, and then also in general? So first, let's start around you. Like, is it a positive impact, and like in the sense like, what has Muay Thai given to the community?
Well, I think what Muay Thai has given to the community is obviously, well, first of all, us teaching at our local colleges, we've taught almost 3,000 students, 3,000 enrollees that come through that college, and it's a 2-year college, so some people come, people leave, and we're spreading the art. What's interesting about that is that people will take a college course on Muay Thai, but they're very reluctant to go into a gym and walk in and see a boxing ring and people just cracking as hard as they could and stuff like that. It's very intimidating. So us teaching this college class allows people to come in and sample what Muay Thai is, And I'm sure a lot of them are further. We've gotten students from there. Students have moved elsewhere and telling it, hey, where gym can I find out in Wisconsin? What gym can I go to here and there, So it's spread the art, And it's helped people, and it helps people in so many different ways. Some people train to fight, some people don't. Some people train to better themselves, And even here at this gym, we train a lot of actors, a lot of celebrities, a lot of musicians, a lot of writers. And they come and say, I'm in a mental block. I can't write, I can't whatever, I can't do this and that, But after I train, my mind is free and everything just kind of comes to me, And that's a great thing in itself, I've had kids come, the parents of the kids say, my kid was bullied at school. And even though he doesn't fight at school, he's able to stand up and look people in the eye, And that's just a great thing because just facing up to somebody stops the bullying, I've had a student come up to me and he said, I was just training Muay Thai for fitness, and all of a sudden, some guy was just messing with me and just started fighting me, And all I remember you teaching just push kick, push kick, push kick, and that's what I did, and I kept him away. Then I low kicked him, and then I ran off, But it like saved my life. So all the time, there's all these different stories, whether it's about health. I was smoking for 25 years, and I needed my lungs to train. Nothing worked except for me. So there's so many positive impacts for Muay Thai, not only just in the fight sport, but just in people's lives. And I think that's just the great thing about it.
All right, well, thank you so much.
All right, good stuff, man. All right, good stuff.
That was awesome.
No worries.
Wow, that was amazing.
Good.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll do a private.